Omolayo was born with a fair skin, and since she was mature enough to understand, people always asked her the same question. How did you tone your skin? What cream do you use? How many times do you exfoliate? What soap do you bathe with? In a world that favored light-skinned women, she was a diamond that sparkled. When she was an adolescent, she would say, I don't know. When she was a teenager, she would say, I use normal soap to bathe. When she was in her early 20s, she simply smiled, not because she was shy, but she just didn't want to give a boring reply, and she wanted to make it a mystery. And when she had left the university, she saw that the questions hadn't changed. If anything, both sexes now asked the same old question. She had once told a friend that was how she was born, but the friend had snubbed her and accused her of lying to protect the secret to her fair skin. But there was no secret. She told the truth. But it would seem that people preferred to be lied to rather than hear the ugly truth. Now in her late 20s, the world had opened up more and connected everyone around the world through social media. More than that, it seemed that what God had given her for free was sought after by so many people in the world, and they paid a lot of money to have her skin type. Her 9 to 5 job was killing her, and when a friend at the company she worked at told her how much she bought the so-called fair woman lotion, she was amazed that someone who wasn't earning much would splurge on a skin lightening lotion in the pursuit of a so-called beauty trend. She saw an opportunity there, and she decided to start making her own lotion. And so, she tried mixing the ingredients she got online. She was only able to get a few customers because the lotion she sold to them didn't bring any changes. Then, she went deep into research and found out about the benefits of carrots, vitamin C, and some chemicals. All the things she mixed smelled disgusting, and they turned bad the next day. She bought other lightening lotion and tried to recreate them with the ingredients written on them, but came to the quick conclusion that the sellers had lied to their customers about their ingredients, and some of the scientific words they wrote on the container made no sense. Omolayo hit a wall. She didn't know what else to do. Were her efforts going to go down the drain? Then, she saw a telephone number on one of the producers of the lotions she had bought. She called the number so many times, and when they didn't pick up, she decided to trace the address that was written on the container. She knew what she was doing could be potentially dangerous, but she wanted to succeed at all costs. When she got to the so-called company, it was a house. When she knocked, a woman opened up. She looked skeptical, but then Omolayo explained why she was there. She opened her door wide to let her in after making her swear she wouldn't tell a single soul. When Omolayo came into the room, she looked around and wondered if this really was where the lotions were being made, because there was nobody else there but the lady who opened the door for her. Wura looked at Omolayo skeptically. She couldn't possibly be a spy for the police. Then perhaps her earlier explanation was true. Omolayo begged Wura to teach her how to make skin lightening lotion. Wura wanted to test the desperate woman sitting in front of her, and so she went to a cupboard and brought out a dirty doll. On seeing the doll, Omolayo was uncomfortable. Wura was glad that the presence of the doll frightened her, and so she said, "You will have to swear on this magic doll never to betray me or tell anyone you have learnt anything from me." Wura watched as Omolayo thought things through, although it didn't take her long because she took the doll from her and said, "I will never betray your secrets to another man or woman, old or young, or I shall face the consequences." Wura knew the doll held no magic, but it made her feel secure that Omolayo believed her. And so for the next 3 months, Omolayo began to learn the ABCDs of how to make skin lightening lotion. Wura also took her to the place where she could purchase the ingredients. All of this information wasn't free. Omolayo paid Wura 50,000 naira to learn from her. And now that she had completed her training, she got to work. She had written down a plan. The first thing was to gain customers. She didn't want to knock on doors or sell to people who would pay 800 naira for her lotion. She had bigger plans. She opened social media pages and used herself as the model. It was more believable when people think that you are a result of your product. And they did believe her. People bought from her the same product they would have bought for 800 naira. She sold at 2,000 naira. And as customers were trickling in and out of her message box, she saw some left a great review of the product, while some weren't so great. And like any great producer, she blamed them for not using the product correctly. Omolayo wanted to grow. She wanted to be in the upper class, and so she started posting a made-to-order special cream. She promised it would be tailored to the person buying it, and it would be premium ingredient. But all she added was twice the ingredients, so the result would be more prominent and quick. When she got some VIP customers who called her and sent her direct messages. Her clientele list included movie stars, artists, and also some wives of politicians. She expanded her virtual stores and sold body scrubs, body polishes, oils, and all body care products. Those took off as well. After all, her lotions were working, so why wouldn't her other beauty products her customers thought? Omolaya got even greedier for success, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but she should have heeded the words of her mentor, Wura, when she told her never to have apprentices, but she wanted to expand her business. So she opened a physical store and sold her products there. People, of course, were excited to meet her in person because seeing was believing, and there was a lot of fake people on the internet who didn't act what they preached. Women, men came to Omolayo for apprenticeship, but she rejected them all. But then she had a rethink. Why should she tell them how to make the type of lotion she was selling? All she had to do was teach them how to make normal lotion, which didn't have lasting effect. Even if someone were to complain, others would defend her because her product showed real results. Omolayo charged an exorbitant amount of money for apprenticeship, and people were happy to pay for it. After all, they had seen and heard its effect. Fisayo was one of Omolayo's apprentices. She was in awe of the story and growth of her boss, and she vowed to become just like her. Fisayo was Omolayo's favorite apprentice. She liked the fact that she was ready to learn and always the first to tackle a task, whereas our other apprentices would drag their feet and complain about this and that. Fisayo was always curious as to why her madam never let anyone help her in making her lotion. She thought it was because she didn't want anyone to steal her ingredient and formula list. But if that was so, why did she recruit apprentices if she didn't want anyone to know her formula? Omolayo called in sick to work one day, and Fisayo took that as an opportunity to search her boss's house. This way, she would be able to find out what the ingredient in her lotion was and what made it so special and popular. So when she came to Omolayo's home, she was surprised. But Omolayo knew Fisayo was always willing to lend her a hand. When Omolayo went to sleep after taking her drugs, Fisayo started her detective work. She searched and searched, but every room looked normal. Then she opened the storeroom. Nothing was abnormal about it, except the horrible smell that came from it. Fisayo thought perhaps the smell was that of a dead rat. When she turned to leave, her eyes caught a door. The door looked clean for a room that looked dirty. She walked to the door, opened it in anticipation, and she saw the ingredients that were used to make lotions. But what had her shocked were the toxic chemicals she found. Among so many things, she saw mercury, quinine. She couldn't believe that this was what her boss had been doing after all the warnings she gave to her apprentice about never using toxic chemicals in their product. Isaiah brought out her phone and started to record what was in front of her. It was night time when Omolayo woke up. She had slept peacefully. As she came out of her bedroom, she was startled to find that Fisaya was still here. She had a menacing aura as she moved closer. I know what you put in your so-called miracle lotion. At first, Omolaya was stumped, but she recovered quickly and denied it. I don't know what you're talking about. Fisaya quickly retorted, I have evidence. Really? Do you? Will people believe your so-called evidence? Pictures and videos can be easily manipulated these days. You will simply be seen as the apprentice who tried to bring down her boss. Everyone will see you as the evil apprentice, and no one will ever be able to trust your words. Isaiah knew that her boss was right, but she had another trick up her sleeves. They don't have to believe me. It simply will spark allegations, and I am sure you know how much people love gossip. The blogs will pick it up, add their own spice to it, and before you know it, your business will be ruined. Omolayo knew she had been beaten, but said nothing. But, Fisayo said, I will keep quiet about all this if you cut me in, introduce me to your VIP client, and teach me everything you know. Omolayo knew it was a better alternative, and so they began to work together. Fisaya was her front woman for her VIP client. But Fisaya wasn't contented with just delivering the miracle lotion. She wasn't anybody's errand girl. She saw how much her boss was getting paid for the lotion. So she grew greedy and began to make her own lotion. Her thought was, if she added twice the ingredients, they would work faster on the skin, and her boss's client would prefer hers. She successfully marketed this lotion to the wife of a prominent politician, and she was convinced. For the first few days after using it, she called Fisayo and praised her product. Fisayo was on cloud nine. Soon, she would be able to compete with her boss. After all, good news spread fast. A loud disruption came from the store. Omolayo got up to see what it was. About two policemen were placing handcuffs on Fisayo, and Fisayo was in tears. The police officer told Omolayo that Fisayo was being arrested for murdering the wife of a politician. When Omolayo heard this, she froze. Fisayo saw her opportunity and said, It wasn't me, it was my boss. She was the one that put toxic chemicals into her lotion and sells it to people, telling them it is a natural product. Everyone in the store's eye grew even wider. Omolayo was taken in for questioning, along with Fisayo. Our store and our home were searched, and lo and behold, there it was, the chemicals. Our home, our stores, and all our businesses were locked up. People demanded a refund and left horrible comments on a computer no one would ever read. Omolayo was sentenced to prison for 10 years, while Fisayo was sentenced to 20 years for murder. The end. What do you guys think about the obsession surrounding skin lightening cream? Is it worth it? If you ever met someone who said to you that was the best decision they had ever made in their life, let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.